Describing a place. This PowerPoint is about describing a place. Present tenses are used when describing a place for a magazine article, but the past tense is used when you describe a visit to a place or a building. When you describe a place, you should use descriptive vocabulary such as adjectives and adverbs. For example, exclusive, towering, unique, exquisite. Also, you should use a variety of linking word structures and narrative techniques. Subjects such as a popular restaurant, a busy market. In a description of this sort, you should describe both the place and the activity, like people, cars, and noise in the place. For example, there was a terrible commotion outside. Also, when you describe a place, you may describe details relating to the senses, like sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste to suggest mood and atmosphere. For example, the bazaar is a array of exotic smells, dazzling colors, and a deafening babble of voices. You should also describe the smell, like fragrant, perfumed, sweet smelling, scented, fresh, pungent, or smoky. Example, the aroma of freshly made pancakes wafted through the air, and smells of fresh fish, vegetables, and the spices fill the hot, humid air. There's an example of smell and touch. Example, a faint smell of crushed grass wafted up from the court as the hot sun beat down on the crowd watching the players. You can also describe the sight, like colorful sails, splash of waves, mouth-watering plates of food if you describe food, picturesque background, bright sun shining on the building, that if you describe weather. You can also describe sounds, like cheerful sound of talk and laughter, sound of birds calling, blinking glasses, cries of seagulls, the bustle of the big city. There's here an example for describing sounds. The market buzzes with the sound of women's voices, the clang of metal bowls and boxes ring through the market. I mutely gasped at how beautiful it was. Standing squashed among the screaming fans, I was deafened by the roar of the enormous crowd. You can also use senses to describe weather. Like soaked from the cold rain, we walked into a cafe to get dry. The aroma of the croissant and the freshly brewed coffee was so strong that it wafted out into the street. You can also describe colors like colorful, vibrant, bright, shining, radiant, glowing, soft, muted, and so on. You can also describe atmosphere like light-hearted, bustling, tranquil, intimate, sophisticated, safe, warm and friendly, lively, cozy, eerie, civilized, comfortable, appealing, relaxing, mysterious, and uninspired. You should say where the place is. For example, of the beaten track right in the center of town, only a few minutes away, or the place is isolated. You should express your feelings when you describe a place. Like when I am there, I feel close to my family or friends, or revel in solitude, or enjoy my own company, or relax and unwind, or experience the beauty of nature, or finding it spiritually uplifting, or marvel at the wonderful things people have created. In order to describe a human scene, you will need to use a variety of words and phrases relating to crowds, like busy, like crowded, like bustling, and you need to describe the activity like customers queue up, passenger rush to the train. You can also use useful vocabulary to describe a place. Sorry, like abandoned, miserable, cramped, run down, bleak, imposing, and exquisite, tranquil. Also, when you describe a place, you can express positive impressions of a place by using a variety of adjectives like oh, inspiring, breathtaking, delightful, elaborate, eye-catching, majestic, outstanding, overwhelming, picturesque, spellbinding, and superb. An example like the castle standing at the top of the mountain overlooking the city is awe-inspiring. You can also express negative impressions of our place by using a variety of adjectives such as very bleak. There's an example like the building was in a dilapidated state. You can use a variety of present, past participle from such verbs like depress, disappoint, dismay, terrify, shock. There's an example like the disappointing view of the unsightly housing. Also, when you describe a place, you can use a variety of present or past participle from such verbs as amaze, astonish, astound. There's an example like I felt astounded at how beautiful Florida is in winter, or the astonishing image of the children pulling rickshaws. You can also use a variety of nouns in expressions such as to my amazement or to my astonishment or to my delight or to my surprise, like to my delight, the place had kept its character. Also, when you describe a place, you can make comparisons like to compare places or buildings by using just, nearly, as positive degree. Like in those days, the main streets were just as congested as they are today, or you can use the same as, like the cottage was the same as it had been 50 years before, or you can use relatively, considerably, less for a positive degree than. Like the new buildings are considerably less ornate than the old ones. You can also use much, far, considerably, more plus adjective plus adverb plus than. For example, the northern area is more picturesque than the eastern area. Or you can use by far the most plus adjective, like by far Hill Manor is the most elegant hotel in the region. You can also use comparative plus and plus comparative. For example, the streets are becoming dirtier and dirtier. Or you can use the plus comparative and the plus comparative, like the further south you travel, the warmer it becomes.